All right, let's, we'll open up we'll start with the GBHA Properties 1 Inc. meeting. A roll call, Bill Van Castle's excused along with Aaron. Everyone else is present. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Make the motion.
Steve makes the motion, second by Sandy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, we'll go on to regular business. We actually have a couple more items other than this one, but we'll start with one. Approval of the executive summary for the transaction between Gorman and Company LLC and GBHA Properties 1 related to the renovation of Mason Manor and scattered sites. Anything different with regards to the specific scattered sites, or just because they're all bunched together, only Mason Manor and scattered sites?
Yeah.
Anything different?
Oh, yes.
I don't know if we open the floor for someone who's asking me that question.
Yes, I have a motion to open the floor.
I'll make it.
I'll second.
All right, Steve and Sandy, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Rocking my
Motion
Robert's
carried.
rules.
All right,
Give it,
so
Ted.
any differences between the GBHA entity and the GBHA Properties 1 entity with regards to what we just talked about for the executive summary?
Yeah, so as you can see in the executive summary, there are specific promissory notes that are going to be allocated per asset. Scattered sites is property 1, GBHA is for Mason Manor. And so Properties 1 actually will be making a seller note and receiving proceeds and lending back those proceeds as is discussed in the executive summary. So there are specific actions and review items for Properties 1 to do in this transaction because they own the scattered sites.
And those were laid out in the executive summary?
Exactly. All of
Okay.
these are laid out, itemized in terms of what they will have to do to lend into the project, either the seller note or the amount they get from proceeds for the scattered site back into the project.
I mean, it was the whole purpose of dividing the entity in the first place, is that fun, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we did it.
Yep.
So that we
Right.
would have it that way. Yes.
Right. Okay.
That's the only.
And again, Caitlin or Paul, anything different with the GBHA Properties 1? Same? We're okay? All right, cool. Motion to, oh, go ahead. Oh, said yep. Okay, then motion to close the floor.
I'll second.
Steve's first, Sandy's the second.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
Do you have another question?
Yeah, the executive summary is essentially identical. Developer fee and costs are different for Properties 1 than they are for, no.
Same. It's all a combined deal.
Okay.
It's just the only thing, like she said, that's different for Properties 1 is you will have a note that's coming in, both for the subordinate financing of the amount you receive as proceeds during the closing, and then the amount of the seller note. That's the only thing that'll be different from Properties 1 and Properties 2. Otherwise, everything is combined into that one entity, which is GBHA Properties LLC.
Okay. Correct, yeah. I'll make a motion to close the floor.
We have a motion and a second to close the floor. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Great, motion, the floor is closed. So do we have a motion for approval on this item?
I'll make the motion to approve the executive summary.
I'll second.
That was Terry? Okay.
Yep.
A motion and a second by Terry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No? Great. So number 1 is approved.
Great.
Thank you.
That was a big step.
Yeah.
Great work, guys.
That was a
Yeah,
huge
great
step
work.
and,
A long
Thanks
time
for your
coming.
patience.
Yeah.
Thanks for your patience.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for explaining it to me 600 times.
well, yeah.
At least
There'll
when
be
I
more
explain to you
questions.
that, I know you understand it, that that's good, because
All
it's
right.
like, you're very good with it.
Okay, so we have a couple more items, just Stephanie. Number 2, consideration with possible action on amending the GBHA Properties 1 bylaws.
Yes. So this was, Attorney Dombrowski had reviewed our bylaws and he had suggested some changes to be made to just clarify where the GBHA is and that they're protected and how it is governed. There was in the packet a comparison report that showed you the changes that were suggested. We are also updating the fiscal year end to be June to stay consistent with the current GBHA's year end. Otherwise, it's really a fun and exciting thing to do all this twice.
So it looks like there were some clarifications from the executive committee, how the board, right, is appointed in these bylaws. I think just a general cleanup.
Is there any reason why we need to open the floor for Attorney Dombrowski?
All the recommendations came from Attorney Dombrowski, so. I'm assuming he's in favor of making these changes.
I'll make a motion to approve these changes to the bylaws.
Motion to approve by Steve. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Sandy seconds that. Great. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Great. Number 3, consideration with possible action on approval of the conflict of interest policy.
This was also brought to my attention by Attorney Dombrowski. We have a conflict of interest policy for Green Bay Housing Authority, but we did not have one in place for the Properties one. And for our 501c3 application, they do highly recommend that you have a conflict of interest policy in place if you want to get that approved by the IRS. So Attorney Dombrowski reviewed the policy that we had. He had some colleagues of his look at it and make some suggestions and changes to what we had, just to integrate wording that has previously gotten approval from the IRS on a 501c3 status. So that has all been commingled with Attorney Dombrowski's help, and that is the policy that is in front of you today.
Circulating a new form for everybody too, is it?
There'll be another form because yes, you did the GBHA form, but now you'll have a GBHA Properties 1 form that I will also have to circulate.
Yep. I'll make a motion to approve.
Do you approve? Yep. I'll second.
All right, motion by Steve, second by Sandy to approve the conflict of interest policy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Great.
Throwing a perfect game here, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Steve would like to make a motion to adjourn, seconded by
I'll second.
Sandy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed nay. Great. Thank you.